T, yes, Ramon SEO. To the double T, be fuddling these bookies like 1, 2, 3. They tapping out and we cashing out. It's plain to see. The morning steam is the A-team, Mr. T. And I pity the fools who can't hang. Coming with real game is sort of a freight train. It's been reported bank rolls are easy to maintain. So get situated and listen to the picks. And it goes a little something like this.
And good morning from cold, wet, and rainy Las Vegas. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to the morning steam for Thursday, January 11th, a monumental day, I guess, here for everyone as we get all the news here over the last 24 hours. And, what do we start? Where do we start? And where do we end with our coaching changes, coaching carousel? It's not that, it's coaching chaos at this point. We heard the breaking news coming down just a couple of hours ago that, Bill Belichick is likely to be parting ways with the New England Patriots. They'll think the career of the great Super Bowl champion coach Belichick is going to come to an end as he'll meet with Bob Kraft publicly today at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, in an orchestrated press conference that I'm sure will involve a lot of hugs and kisses and accolades. Make no mistake, Bill would probably like to stay on. It's had to be a Kraft decision, I would think, with this one. And where could Bill end up? He's not ready to quit. Nick Saban, who we got the news yesterday after the show, leaving Alabama, he might quit. Given the nature of today's college football landscape with NIL deals and transfer portal, kind of like Dabo, who may end up at Alabama, but maybe not if you're going to have the same attitude as Coach Saban, because that's not how things work nowadays necessarily. But Coach Saban may be taking time off. It's hard for Coach Saban. I mean, the stories of his work ethic, having friends, co-friends, other coaches call him just so he could get away from family and go down to the facility on a big holiday with in-laws. Famous stories like that with Coach Saban. It's going to be hard for him to break away. So could Coach Saban be really heading towards possibly maybe the commentary booth or studio show role, given his current age and personality at this time? Of course, big friends with Belichick, right? It had to be a total orchestration between the two. You go first, sir, if you will. As far as Bill is concerned, you might speculate that he could end up. I don't think switching places with Mike Vrabel is necessarily the case. In fact, the Patriots look to be leaning to Gerard Mayo, who basically has served in a head coach in waiting over the last couple of years. Sure, he's a great linebackers coach, but really been in an unnamed position with the Patriots. And I think that's the direction that that Mr. Kraft might go in New England. As far as Bill is concerned, look, the Chargers aren't going to pay for Bill. I know we got into it a little bit with the chat as far as why the Chargers are still paying for coaches, but those guys didn't make any money. Bill's going to still command a little bit of money. The team that's got a little bit of money and the team that has remember, going to Washington, that probably ain't going to work. It's going to take too long, even to win 15 games with Washington. It could take 2 or 3 seasons, the way the roster is constructed and the new ownership taking over. But you know what? They've got some pretty good talent down in Atlanta, and Coach Belichick would probably be best served to stay on the East Coast. That's where he likes to be. That's where he wants to be. No reason to follow Tom Brady down to Tampa Bay. Plus, they could be on a little bit of a roll. All they got to do is beat the struggling Eagles this week. And as far as Carolina's concerned, probably not going to want to work for a coach, for an owner like that. It wouldn't be working out necessarily. Maybe Mr. Vrabel could end up there. But, uh, anyways, get your comments. I know you're blowing up in here, and nobody wants to hear me dissect the news necessarily. But man, what a whirlwind of events! Oh, by the way, how about Coach Carroll getting fired on Wednesday? I mean, they tried to be nice about it. He wants to stay on. Of course, Coach Carroll wants to stay on. You know what's funny? Uh, it was actually Coach Carroll that was out at Ohio State as a defensive backs coach when Nick Saban took over for him. So, look, he had a great time with the Seahawks. He won a Super Bowl, and this is how they're going to treat him. I don't think that front office position is really what he's looking for, and maybe he'll be somewhere else even before next season. You heard his press conference. You could read between the lines, I would think, a little bit. So good luck also to the next guy going down to Alabama. Who's it going to be? I mentioned Sweeney, but like I said, if he's gonna, you don't want a carbon copy or a guy who's gonna, you have an Alabama guy certainly, but it looks like the other two, the more hot names right now, certainly DeBoer of Washington, kind of would be in the forefront there, I would think. And Lanning has already gone to a minus 300 favorite at some sports books to be the next head coach at Alabama. Some rumor mills had him hanging out in Tuscaloosa yesterday already. So it might be a done deal here, dotting the T's, crossing the I's, and well, where are some of these guys going to end up? Hello, everybody. Welcome to the morning steam. How was your last 24 hours? Let's say hello to some folks here. I guess we're going to preview some sports. That's what they tell me to do, and don't worry about this other stuff. But what a day, man. I can't believe what we just saw, and the end of an era across the landscape. Who was here first getting ready for today's big news? Well, Justin McElvey was here today, and he's got his plays going off. Look at this one with Greens out. I actually picked this game as a game on our previews today. Of course, we'll have a huge hockey card. We have 5 in the NBA, including game from Paris today. Don't forget, that one goes off at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. It'll be the Nets and the Cavaliers NBA Paris today. Okay, and Gerardo, his work is a week off here, is about to come to an end, but still a little bit of a light schedule here today. Did give us an early play in Turkey Super League. I believe it was Galatasaray, if I'm not mistaken. Gerardo over 1.5 goals at minus 140 or so is what I saw. And also the big game today, Super Cup action. From Riyadh, of course, Super Cup, part of your sports washing there for 3rd straight year. They'll play the Super Cup in Saudi Arabia, Barcelona, and Osasuna in that one. I'll take the lead on that one. 9 of the last 10, I believe, for Barcelona, BTTS, and it's minus $1.20 or so. I'll take it. Nicholas Handy, hello. Percent Better, hello. And Stephen Downey, thank you for joining me today. Salty is here, or maybe they were here waiting for me. Lazzy Love, Poppy in here. Got a UFC card this week. Poppy can always feel free to drop your card. He does it for free. And Poppy, the Discord is open for you, sir. If you want to make, I'd like to get more eyeballs in there and having selections, or at least your UFC analysis in the Discord would be so appreciated. Anything you have to offer. We're trying to get more eyeballs in there and make it a real good Discord with good sports information. Thomas is here. Timmy Tushu and Blake. Ricardo Brown, nice to see you today. Kenny Jackson. Salty does have Vrabel going to New England. Okay, well, it feels like Mayo to me is the guy that's reading into Boston media. sources I use, but it does make perfect sense. I mean, he looks the part. The connections are there, certainly. It's just that I think that Mr. Kraft has put in a lot of time into his success, into coach's successor, but it's certainly going to be tempting for him to bring Mike to New England. RVD, hello. Ninja, talking about those upsets last night in college basketball. I brought to you several winners yesterday with premium picks in college land. I had a pretty good day. We'll go over to Tony's picks here in just a minute and see who did well. And Thomas said, interesting, but like I said, good luck, right? I don't want to be the next guy. I'll be the guy after this next guy who's probably going to be out of there in a couple years. Every athlete who played at least 4 years at Alabama won a national championship. Yeah, right. Look at what Ninja says. Yeah. It just right. That's not the way you treat your man, right, sir? And Larry, hey Larry, you know what it's all about, my friend. All right, Poppy, thank you very much. Percent better. Hello. And Percent Better says maybe a former NFL coach. Any NFL coaches out there that just lost their jobs or maybe has been out of work for a year or two? And give me a break with the Urban Meyer talk. That's not Percent Better. I mean, even though he did serve in the NFL, we don't consider Urban Meyer a former NFL coach, right? But I don't think Urban is going to be landing on the landscape anytime soon, right? All right. I'm going to go over to Tony'sPicks.com. I got a few other news and tidbits that I would like to discuss, but we got such a big card today. So let me know if I'm forgetting any, earth shattering news. Who knows here on these screens what could happen next? I'm looking at the different, coaches that have been fired and released. Kawhi Leonard, by the way, signs a 3-year, $152 million extension. That'll make him about 60 grand a game before taxes. College, but you mentioned some of those college games last night. Man, how about Central Florida? First ever Big 12 home game. Just beat Kansas. No big deal. Welcome to the Big 12, Central Florida. St. John's over Providence. It was tough, but Coach got it done. Man, was he fired up in the huddle yesterday, wasn't he? That was awesome. Coach is in his prime still to a certain extent, and especially back with St. John's in the big setting in New York, facing his old team. St. John's wins 75-73. They're 4-0 in the Big East. They'll make a this possibly. I don't know. Coach was looking good. All right, Butler upset Marquette. Marquette led by 11. They couldn't shoot. Memphis over UTSA, game of the day, 107-105. That one was tight and exciting late. St. Louis and St. Joe's, what'd they play? 60 minutes, 88-85. St. Louis won that one. Cal held off Colorado. Man, Cal got off to that big lead, and Colorado got off to that big lead. Cal with the upset, 82-78. Man, Buffaloes were up by 20. And I was ready to cuddle up with the teddy bear, but had to stay in for that one. And what an upset that was. Louisville, 80-75, upsetting Miami. Miami's got to be wondering what's going on. And UNC over NC State, 67-54. I mean, come on, they're going to beat them every single time. Tar Heels, great defense, one of the best defenses I would think right now, and they held the Wolfpack to 26%. Watch out for North Carolina. They can get it done with this defense. All right, go over to Tony'sPicks.com and see who did well yesterday. I know I was up there, so let's see who's hot on the website. You can tell I'm fired up for a big day after yesterday. Let's take a look. All right, it was Danny Dimes having a big day. Hey, at least one Danny Dimes is looking great. 16-6 yesterday, plus 747. The EPA Sports Hoops at plus 558. We'll get the name going here eventually, I would think. Maybe we just change it during the season. I don't really know. But I've seen the gentleman that in the group that they're good people. Mindy Hahn 7-2 yesterday, plus 391. There I am, a 7-3 record yesterday. That gives me a 2-day running total of 18 wins and 5 losses over the last 2 days. Thank you to my subscribers also yesterday on those packages, and those of you that picked up. I saw the duration package as well. Joseph Schultz went 3-0. OG Cappers VIP 3-0. Two old ladies that bet consensus 3-0. Jerry Lewis 5-2. Tiffany Mance 7-4. Ruben Marlboro, come to Marlboro country. He went 3-1. You know Hollywood Sam's going to be doing it in the middle of hockey season. Ben Ruhala 1-0. Nick Lagaretos 1-0. Tony T went 2-1. Deep leaderboard. Daniel Walasachuk 3-2. Probably Samba Murdy 6-5, and Marlon Pettis had a winning day as well. Over the last 7 days at Tony'sPicks.com, it's probably Samba Murdy on top of the handicapper leaderboard with 20 units of profit. Mindy Hahn is up 17.5 units over the last 7 days. Gene got picks, Gene got winners. Up 9.5 units over the last 7 days. Joseph Schultz is showing a good number here, a little over 62%. Over the last 7 days, Tiffany Mance up 643. Last 30 days, it's Mindy Hahn. She is up 49.5 units over the last 30 days. If you got winners, that's fine. Stay tuned for the show here. I'm hopefully give you some free winners, but man, if you just need a little bit of help, look at Mindy and look at Tiffany Mance. The ladies are up basically 95 units over the last 30 days. You would not have to work. You would not have to, whatever you do in your life, you wouldn't have to do it. You could just sit there and watch games and roll with Mindy and Tiffany over the last 30 days, and it would pay for a lot of months. Let me tell you, that's some serious winning right there. Nick Lagaretos up nearly 19.5 units. Gene got picks. Looking good on our site so far, 18.25 units. Tim Irwin up 17.33 units. We're keeping track since the start of the year, and Mindy's up 24.5 units. Nick Lagaretos is up 15 units. Probably Sam Murdy, 14.2 units. Been a strong start. We're 10 days in, and many handicappers in the green already. Tiffany Mance, Joseph Schultz, Ron Crawford, author of the spreadsheet play of the day, up there. Gene got picks. I'm up there as well, up 6.75 units so far this year in just 10 days. Ruben Marlboro, the Tony's Picks VIP account, up 5.5 units. It's been a good start for public handicappers. Let's just call it like it is. For paid cappers, a real good start. So hopefully it's been good for you. I could go down all these names, but we've got 20 or 19 of our handicappers in the green so far this year. Thank you for listening to that commercial, and we will say hello to a few more people and start the show. And Coach Robertson, yeah, well, we're going to run it back, I'm sure, one more time with Shedeur. Wants to coach his son, and then maybe, just maybe, it could work out. Shedeur probably doesn't, probably not going to be an NFL, but if he has a big year, he could get a chance, and then he could be an NFL quarterback or another position with his dad possibly as an NFL head coach. I don't know if anybody really takes the chance there. Does seem like Colorado's got a pretty great situation with him. Who knows? It could sour quickly. Berkey, hello. Thank you, as always. You were on fire yesterday, and nobody was paying attention, and that made me disappointed. They weren't noticing all your great picks. All right. Yeah, but Ninja, both of them got to play it. Do you think it's going to be an under? Let's talk about it. Let's get started with the NBA. There are 5 games today, and we start with the Nets going up against it should be versus, obviously. This is the Paris game. So, one game, one error produced by the graphics man. So we can't even get to the first game without having a technical glitch or a brain glitch, probably. I know the game is in Paris, and the game, like I said, is at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific time in Paris here with the Nets and the Cavaliers. This one opened mostly around 3 or so. There were some 2.5s out there, but now we're looking at 3.5. The total here has dropped to 225, uh, off of a high of maybe as high as 227 or so coming into this one. So maybe it's a little bit of what we're talking about in the chat as well, with maybe there's a little bit of uh, morning there for them to a certain extent, right? Or afternoon, but nonetheless a day to get acclimated over there for these two teams. This one will be on NBA TV, by the way. Cleveland has covered in 4. Let's see, let me get this straight. There's not really any, I'm not going to include any trends considering the neutral site game, I think, is what I'm thinking. I mean, in general, though, I mean, it's certainly Brooklyn is fallen by the wayside here a little bit of late, not playing as well as they were early. They've only covered in 2 of their last 10 games. Cleveland, they've covered 6 of their last 10. Brooklyn is in a bit of a funk. They just lost to Portland at home, 134 to 127. Before that, they did beat OKC to snap a losing streak. So definitely inconsistent here of late. For Cleveland, they've won 3 straight. They covered both of them against Washington. However, they couldn't cover the big number. It was 4 nights ago that they last played. Both teams last played on the 7th. Today's the 11th here, so you can kind of get the picture of how they've gone about uh, where they were. Cleveland was on a home stand for 3 games before they headed off to Paris, and Brooklyn had played 2 straight games at home before they headed off to Paris. So look at it any way you want there with these two. The injury concerns here, saw in the chat, mostly mentioning those long-term injuries. I don't know if there's any real impactful injuries as far as the current personnel that was available here coming into this one. These two teams already met once this season. It was on October 25th at Brooklyn. Cleveland won that one 114 to 113, but they were a 1.5 point favorite, so it came very, very close to the money. Brooklyn has gone over in 6 of their last 10 games, so I don't know if there's as much there necessarily, but I do kind of like what you guys were saying about the total. But man, I thought that early pressure that was coming in, I think it went over with the early reported steam. Let me get your comments. All right. Perky, thank you. He gives us a little preview of the game here. Thomas says take Cleveland. Lazzy says he's on Cleveland. And Salty says you got to go with Mbappe. Hello to Russell today. And hey, I think the main, if you really want to know, Rodney, don't tempt me with quite rather funny with a joke. But I think the NBA's, there's always going to be one specific cause or big contribution that the NBA will make, and it's going to be in a training academy, I believe, this time around. Uh, Money into a training, if I read it correctly. So, all right, Russell on the Cavs money line. Perky's got the Cavs at money line. Super max play. Biggest bet of the year. Bigger than the last one, bigger than the last one, and bigger than the last one that just keeps getting bigger. And Perky is going to put his biggest bet of the year on a game that's in Paris, France, with two NBA teams. Like, you couldn't get more random, right, Perky? I mean, not the Super Bowl, not the NCAA championship game, a game where just some game where like half the guys, probably don't even know what day it is. There's Solo going with the over, and the CTG is on the Nets. Could I get on a side here? Because I don't, you guys, Solo's on the over. I mean, that's the way I want to go. I'm probably just going to go over. I know what, a little bit of the thinking here, maybe a jet lag situation type of thing, but I want to go over you guys in the game over there. I've got it at 228 or so. Here comes some big time steam rolling in. They moved on the over at 225, talking about the widely reported steam. And it's now down to 224.5 a lot of places. So, maybe it wasn't significant enough. But I'm going to take the over here in this one. I'm not even sure on the side yet which way I'll be headed. Give me the over with the Nets and the Cavs. Let's move on. Okay, Perky says, two different teams. Cavs playing better, no doubt, and the Nets going the other direction. So I'm having fun with Perky there. But there is, I do think there's some merit to what I'm saying about, I would think in a match. Yeah, we do joke about it a little bit, right? Saying, well, why would they go there and do this? To me, the players that do go over there, they could look at it as an inconvenience, but I don't know if they do. I think they might actually turn it up just a notch more to play in front of another crowd, another, group of people somewhere you haven't been, maybe. So, all right. Maybe I'm a little corny on that. Here's a good game for tonight we could talk about with the Celtics and the Bucks. That's one worth discussing. This is certainly, other than the game being in Paris, this is our game of the night for sure on a good 5-game card. Boston has covered 5 straight meetings in Milwaukee. Boston's also covered 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams. Milwaukee, maybe they're even starting to be overlooked. Maybe we'd even take them for granted a little bit with their mark. 15-3 straight up in their last 18 home games. Now, they've had some trouble covering numbers, certainly, but a lot of times they're laying big-time numbers to teams worse than this. They're 7-13 now against the spread at home. Boston just 7-10-2 on the road against the spread. Total has gone over in 9 of the last 11 meetings between these two teams in Milwaukee. This total is pretty high for a game that you'd think if you're championship contenders, you'd have a little bit of defense, but has Milwaukee really been doing anything defensively? It seems like they've gotten progressively worse. And the Celtics, they can get into a little bit of a scoring duel, can't they? The public seems to be going over too. Could they lay the points here with Milwaukee? Do you guys want to do it? I'd kind of think that maybe it'll be a fun, high-scoring game with anybody could win, making the points a little bit valuable here. The total was as low as 239.5 on the opener. Now you're looking at 243, and it feels like it's going to be a high-scoring game. I don't even think I could give it out as a premium anymore. I would rather try and flirt with this over. Here's what's happened. I know that I'm guilty of giving out some of these big totals over, and then we get stuck on right on the number because we've missed the number. But there's far more chance to me that it's going to go over than it is under. And just, sucks when you don't get the best of the number. But I don't think there's going to be 221 points. Rodney likes the under in that other game. Ray says Celtics plus 5.5. Hello to Ray. And we are all if you're here, you're part of Team Steam. When we're out and about, we're Team Steam. All right, Matt. Hello. All right, not a lot on this one, you guys. A big game of the day, or I talked for a few seconds at least on this game. Kind of want to take this. So I just don't. I want to give out the over as a premium. I'm just worried it continues to go. Oh man, it's going to be, I think it could get to 245, 250 points today in the game. There are, a little bit of injury news in the game with Lillard, but he's probable. It was just some personal reasons, I believe. Big Al's going to be out for Boston. Porzingis is probable. So, all right, you guys, nothing, huh? I'll just take the over then. If you guys don't have anything, maybe it's a tough game for you. Byron says Celtics money line. I would say why not? Look, I think it's got to be looked at about how bad Milwaukee has been. Well, I don't want to say that because obviously at home they're 16-4 this season. Boston's 11-8 straight up on the road. So, but against the spread, maybe I might be willing to conclude since Byron's saying Boston money line. But considering Boston, that maybe they'll take this game seriously and maybe it'll be a good game. And they'll be motivated to stay in there. Celtics win. No, salty. Bucks are favor. Bucks are favor. Okay, Rodney, you got it. Is that right? Well, how many times have they been an underdog this season? I have them as 1-0. Maybe you're right. Maybe that's it. That's their role. Boston is an underdog. They'll score. They'll look to turn it up. I'm not teasing Rodney at all. I think it's totally legit. One game is a pretty weak sample size. We all can agree with that. But when they were a dog, I didn't even look up the game when it was. Maybe you know what it was, but when you have in the rare role and it's going to be an over, right? I think and against a team like Milwaukee, that certainly is playing plenty of overs. 13-7 to the over at home, 23. These two teams are combined to go 44 and 30 to the over this season. Okay, Fix is here today. Hello, Fix. Saved by 0. Here's another good game here with the Trailblazers and the Thunder. Better than it looks, I would think, on a 13-point spread. Well, on second thought, maybe not. I just think Portland's out of these bad teams, you certainly got to like a few of these guys to watch them anyway. But Portland's covered just one out of their last 5 games right now. Oklahoma City has won 5 straight meetings between the two. OKC has gone over in 5 straight games. However, 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams in Oklahoma City has gone under. OKC's been that team that you like to play on. Certainly, they're 14-5 against the spread at home. They are 15-7 against the spread as a favorite. Portland hasn't been great against the spread of late. They're 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 games, but they are 10-10 against the spread on the road, which is a little bit better than their home record. So maybe they've gotten a few too many points in some of these games. It's just a matter of trying to measure whether you think it's going to be a 2-touchdown victory or not for the Thunder tonight. I would think it might be. Let's see if you guys have comments on this one. We can kind of look at the total here a little bit. Like I said, there's already some conflicting long-term trends, but OKC's gone over in 8 of their last 10 games. They've also gone over in 12, 6-1 to the over at home. They've been a big over team. Portland, they're 50-50, in general and on the road. Portland has lost. They lost to the Knicks, of course, last time out. They beat Brooklyn before that, but before that they were on a losing streak. And for OKC coming in, they've won 2 straight, beating Washington and beating Miami. These two teams met back in November. It was a 134-91 win for Oklahoma City at Portland. That's 225 points, which went over the 223.5 at that time. You guys, a little more. Here's Kenny Jackson on the Thunder. Or is he laughing at my pick? Because I think that's going to be my pick. I think I'm going to lay these points. Okay, Kenny's saying he's got him as a blowout too. All right. Hang in there, Rodney. PZ, hello and thank you. As always, man. I got other guys playing your song on those other channels because I love my song so much. I'll take it with me. Here's Ray going over. I like, oh man, I'm going to almost sing the whole song here. I want to get it all right. But I love the end, mostly the last few verses, and then the hit it. Unrested teams coming off a game that went to overtime are 21-5 to the over when facing teams with a lesser rate since 2021. He's talking about the Celtics game. Portland team total under here for Russell. Rodney does not like the slate tonight. He's going to be checking out something on Netflix. I don't know if I have anything on my LOLX today. Portland plus 13, too many points to cover against this Blazer team. Jeff likes Portland. All right, well, I already committed to OKC, so Jeff against me, I guess. Look, I like Portland. I like Portland. I really do. I'm just not sure tonight that it's the right spot, I guess. Can I just use the word spot? All right. That was the direction I was thinking, Justin. All right, the Knicks and the Mavericks. Maybe this one can get Rodney's attention here with the Knicks on the road. 4.5-point favorite. Down to 4 now at the most part. 233. I'd be willing to call it 4 and 233 at this point. The Knicks have covered now in 5 straight. A lot of people think it coincides with the trade and their new revamped lineup. Maybe it does. Whatever it takes, right? Chemistry is sometimes the most important factor, or defense, or whatever has been working for the Knicks in this win streak. Maybe the quality of opponents too, but they did beat the Sixers. They crushed the Sixers, and they beat Minnesota as well. They beat Chicago. They beat Washington. They beat Portland. Doesn't matter. They've covered the spread in all those games too, and that is the handicap, right? If you will. That's how you can measure whether or not they're doing a job against the weak teams or the good teams. Knicks to roll in this one, says Chad. All right. Well, let me spoil it right now. I mean, this Chad, we might have a new show called the Chad Consensus, a Ramon and Chad Consensus. I'll just take Dallas. Maybe the Knicks have been rolling here, but if I'm going to get Dallas here as a dog, that's what I'm going to be looking at. I mean, I don't mind taking Dallas as a dog at this point. Luka is out. I get that, but still going to be getting these points, and I'm going to have to like them in the role, I would think, here with right now the Knicks having kind of the role that they're on, that maybe this is a lull spot. Derek Lively is also going to be doubtful in this one. Grant Williams questionable with an ankle injury. Exum is still out as well. So, okay, Chad is switching then to the Knicks here, or going with the Knicks here. Yeah, I'll probably take the points in this one. Let's get Chad on here. And let's see. Justin says, give me OG here. Over 13.5 points. All right. Yeah, well, they're not getting. Hey, they get the. Luka is not going to sit here and stand for it. Okay. All right. Yeah, let's see. Anything else here? Ray said he laid the Knicks early before the news, or well, I was before the news. Well, uh, I think we were talking about him. Questionable to doubtful, I guess. So maybe there was that line out there. Dallas was a 1 point favorite on the very earliest openers. Total here currently 233. Look, I would think with or without Luca, this one could be a high scoring game. I'm going to be on Dallas here. Hey, that's where the widely reported steam came in. I'm going to ride with the Sharps here tonight and let those squares have at it with those red hot Knickerbockers. All right. Yeah, Luca is definitely out, Justin. All right. And we got one more here in the NBA. Yeah, but Chad, what they do is they have a point spread. So they adjust the line. So like if Luca and Lively were playing, it very well could be that Dallas would be maybe a pick 'em, maybe even a small favorite. Those guys are crucial, so they put a handicap on it, and then they judge it from there, and that's how the point spread works. All right, Gino likes the over in this one. Perky, you crazy. All right. Here's the next game here with the Suns taking on the Lakers in this one. And man, the Lakers can just turn it around like this and be all hunky dory, and then they're up and down like this. That seems totally like the Lakers, certainly. But now they've won 2 in a row with the win over Toronto. They got it done. They didn't cover 132-131 as a 4.5 point favorite. They weren't even covering before that last 3-pointer in that one. They beat the Clippers in a big surprise before that as a 6.5 or as a 4.5 point dog. I think it opened around 6, and the Lakers actually took the money. So hats off to the Sharps there in that one. Before that, of course, they were on a losing streak. Now it's the Suns coming in on their own 2-game losing streak, having lost to the Clippers, having lost to Memphis in this one, coming into this one. The Lakers have won 5 straight meetings against the Phoenix Suns. They've also won 4 of the last 5 meetings at home against Phoenix. Total has gone under in 11 of the last 16 meetings here at the Crypto Arena. Between these two teams, total's gone under in 4 of Phoenix's last 6 road games. They've been mostly an over team this season, 21-16 to the over. The Lakers are hard under at home, 7-13 to the under at home this season. These two teams have already met 4 times this season. The Lakers, like we said, they've been winning these matchups, certainly. They won 106-103 on December the 5th as a 2-point favorite at home. They also won at Phoenix 122-119 as a 2.5-point dog in November, and they won back in October 195, but they were favored by 6.5 there. Let's get your comments. All right. Let's see here. Chad says he is learning something. You know what I'm talking about, Chad. I'm sure they'll crush them. Here's Kenny on the Lakers today. Here's Ray on the under. I'm waiting, Chad. I can't get any of these other handicappers on the air from the website, so let's hope we can get you going here. Gino likes the Suns here if everybody plays. I invite any of our new handicappers, please. I'll, love to have some other analysts here giving out some plays with me. I mean, I know I'm hard to work with. I know I'm difficult to deal with. All right. Here for the Lakers, you've got the two guys today. You got James is the one that's questionable. Davis is probable. I mean, it's all interchangeable with these two guys. Cam Reddish has that facial injury. He's questionable. Hachimura doubtful here in this one. So the Lakers are the ones I would say with a little bit more here. Yeah, Justin, that'd be cool. I just need you to, make sure you get in touch with Tony. Join the crew here at Tony'sPicks.com. I think Chad's trying to do it. I mean, we got a ton of handicappers on here, and they're all doing great. I'm having a hard time keeping up. We're starting to crush it right now. What you guys got here? You guys see a few plays here on this one. I'm going to take the Suns today. Forget it. I want when the Lakers are feeling a little bit good and the Suns are feeling a little bit down. I think that's a time for me to take the Suns. I'm playing the human algorithm here a little bit, I would think, in this one. Yeah, right, Russell. I mean, look, when it comes down to the end of the game, they're going to give all the Lakers all those free throws. You could pound the table all you want, Darko. And he was so mad. I've never, it was funny to see Darko all upset like that and talking with his accent. I mean, it kind of, I don't want to say cute, but I felt for him. Losing sucks. But that was kind of a little bit of humor to it, even though I know the man was very upset. Did he get fined for those comments, by the way? All right, Byron says he wants the Lakers in the first half. But he's doing a pretty good job. Darko is with Toronto right now. I think they might have a good hire on their hands. All right. And that's it for the NBA. Let's keep it moving here. I've got a nice college card today to look at with some nice games here. And we got 6 or 7 of them actually to look at on today's card. We'll start with Florida Atlantic on the road here against Tulane. Florida Atlantic has seemed to have fallen on maybe they're just starting to come back to the pack a little bit. Obviously not the same Florida Atlantic team as far as their success rate this season. They're still a pretty darn good team, but they've had a few losses here, certainly of late. Not putting up 11-4 right now, and lost to some teams that maybe we weren't expecting them to lose to here. They just lost to Charlotte 70-68 as an 8-point favorite. They also lost to Gulf Coast as a 17.5-point favorite a couple of games back. They did beat ECU by 15. They failed to cover as a 17-point favorite. But still, Florida Atlantic, not awful against the spread. Meanwhile, Tulane has been bad against the spread, actually. 0-3 against the spread as an underdog. Has to be a little bit of concern, but numbers does still feel kind of high here. Tulane has won 11 of their last 13 games at home. Yeah, Florida Atlantic, they've won 18 of their last 24 road games. FAU's gone under in 4 of their last 5 games on the road. Tulane, they've been a big-time over team. However, this season they've gone over in 7 of their last 10 games, or 6-4 to the over at home. So I don't know if you guys are ready for any games here, but let's see here. All right. Maybe you guys don't have any college for me today, so I'll just make the call with Florida Atlantic. Let me get my pick sheet here. All right. And yeah, for me, I'm going to go ahead and lay it. I'm going to take Florida Atlantic to get this one on the road here against Tulane. I'll go ahead and lay these points on the road. Yeah, it does feel a little bit close, but I still think they are a good team. Tulane obviously is underachieving a little bit here. Maybe they can get there by double digits. I would think it will be the defense of Florida Atlantic that kind of uh, is in control here. That number, maybe I might be wrong on that. Looking at that total, I would think that total might be high, but let's just take Florida Atlantic. I'll evaluate that total later, but it's already on the move lower, so I couldn't be too wrong about that observation anyway. I understand that these two teams. I mean, they're obviously both going to be very contentious for the conference here, but Tulane already lost, of course, to Florida Atlantic. Interesting that at this point. Okay, enough there. Gave you guys a second here. FAU for Justin. And of course, Perky here. Rodney, I'm all about Texas Hold'em. I'm a poker player. Uh, I don't know if you know. Did you guys catch that last time? You know, I played on national TV, right? Have you ever seen this?
NC number 4, Ramon Scott. He knows about poker. He's a dealer.
Look how young I look there. And not everybody has Barry Tompkins on their intro. All right, let's move on here on the college card. Having some fun with you guys today, trying to figure out this coaching carousel. Give me Florida Atlantic today, Michigan and Maryland tonight. Here with Maryland favored -6. And the total here looks to be about 140. Yeah, I'd say 140. 140 up from 138. It was 138 and a half. Now it's maybe 140 and a half at Bovada, and the line is moving here back to 6. We saw it dip down back to 5.5 a little bit there, but now we're riding with a 6 with Maryland at home in this one, where they've won 21 of their last 23 games straight up. Michigan, however, has covered 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams. The total has gone over in 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams at Maryland. Of course, Michigan comes in with a 6-9 record. It's been a big disappointment so far for the Wolverines and Coach Howard. Of course, his son has been out most of the season right now, and now they're going to be missing McDaniel from a suspension over the next 6 games. Maryland's Chance Stevens, he's been out for about a week or so with a knee injury. But Michigan has lost 4 straight. Their non-cover streak is even longer than that. These are two teams that have been big disappointments at the window so far. Maryland is 4-11 against the spread. Michigan is 5-10 against the spread. Maybe Michigan, as a dog, they're 2-3, but Maryland is a favorite, is 3-7. Those are spread records, mind you. Like I said, Maryland's been rolling. They're 8-1 at home this season straight up. Michigan has been a big time over so far. They're 11-4 the over, but Maryland is 5-10 to the under. So just big time contrast here, and the fact that both of them are pretty awful against the spread. All right. Byron's Michigan riding high. Is that what that says? Or All right, I don't know. I mean, I know what I'm picking, but give you guys a second here. But I'm ready to go here, and with the play. And it is going to be on Maryland to continue here. Obviously, something might be a little bit broken with Michigan at this point. Hopefully, they can get it back, but just feels like Howard doesn't have it under control at this point. And with Maryland still riding in here, look, they could use a win. Uh, just as much as Michigan right now. Maryland's lost a couple of conference games here in a row now to Purdue. They didn't cover against Minnesota. They didn't cover. All right, I think that's good. And I think that we'll move on. Thanks, Rodney. That's cool of you to say. Yeah, I'll send it to you. All right, I picked one out, and then you guys, somebody already commented. Who was that commented on the Greensboro Samford game? Look, we're going to, in conference play, start to get into more competitive games. Games are important in the conference race here a little bit. I know we've been a little bit top heavy, just going, making sure we got good TV games and things like that. But I think once we get into conference play, you got to start to focus in on some of the important games. Now, I didn't see that this one was even on ESPN Plus, but I mean, you got to consider this game. Let me see here if I even have the TV information because this is going to be a good ball game tonight. I mean, Samford hasn't lost in since November 10th. They started the season with losses. Get Samford's season here, okay? Always play up. Always play up. They lost to Purdue in the season opener by 53 points. Then they lost to VCU by 10 points. Since then, it's been all victories, including some okay wins against teams like Louisiana and Belmont. Uh, Valpo's pretty bad this year. It hasn't been a tough schedule, but nonetheless, they've won 13 straight games right now. So there it is, Justin. Thank you. And I should get this right because this is not some new, promo. Justin's been rolling the stacks play of the day. You see it there as long term. I don't care about that long term. Right? This is a solid play, I would think, on Greensboro today. I'm going to roll with Justin. I don't, says it right there on the screen. I got Greensboro already selected here. I don't even think we're getting 4 points anymore, quite frankly. Oh, yeah, it's still 4. Total down, though, to 151.5. And it says it right there. Look at Nathan Cerna also. Well, he's got Samford, though, in this one. He likes that 13-game winning streak. Hey, look, that's why I'm, picking this game, right? I mean, this is a pretty hot game. And let me see. I've got the TV, I'm sure, here. I'm sure this is ESPN Plus, right? I mean, with this conference. Just want to make sure on that. This is where it's on ESPN Plus. Of course it is. So no doubt, conference wins over Chattanooga, over Citadel for Samford. They're on a long cover streak as well. That has to be noted in this game. They've been covering like nobody's business all these games of late. But that's why this is going to be a really good game today. Samford has won 5 straight at home. They're 10. How many is it now? 10. I don't know. They're 10-0 at home, I think, is what I'm showing here. 10-0 straight up at home in those games right now. But yeah, I mean, I just trust Greensboro. They're certainly a well-established team. They've started well here in conference play with a couple of wins against Furman. They covered the number there as a 5-point favorite. They covered against East Tennessee as a 7-point favorite, beat them by 16. And their losses have been to some decent teams, certainly. They lost to Texas. They lost to High Point, which certainly is a pretty decent team here. That was kind of an evenly rated game, but it was on the road. They also lost to Marshall on the road. And they did beat Illinois, Chicago. That was an okay win. Delaware, that was an okay win. I'm going to take Greensboro here plus 4.5. What should be a pretty great game tonight. All right, let's move on with Michigan State and Illinois. How about the Spartans here in this one against the Illini? Anything for you guys in this game? I'm going to look at it here, but definitely like what's going on here right now with Sparty. Probably get any hint here. The Sharps have already come in on Sparty and took Michigan State plus the points. Already on some widely reported steam already today. And all right, here we go. This one was 3.5 and 147, and now we're up to 149 in this one with Michigan State and Illinois. 3.5, 149 here. You got Michigan State coming in with a 9-6 record right now, while Illinois 11-3, continuing to look good, especially defensively so far for the Illini. I think that's where it's kind of stood out. This game's on Fox Sports 1 at 9 Eastern and 6 Pacific. And I don't know, it just seems like these home teams do a good job. I get that, but man, this weather is really wreaking havoc with my concentration. All right, Illinois here. It just seems like these Big Ten teams right now, we're seeing a lot of home wins and covers, as often we do in this one. I mean, Illinois has won and covered now 5 straight games at home. They're on a big-time cover streak, even though they lost to Purdue last time out, 83-79. Last week, they still got the money in that one as a 10-point dog. Michigan State was on a roll before they got upset at Northwestern the other night by 14 points. So another road game here, but they did beat Penn State at home and got the money. They beat them by 31 points, and they were looking pretty good before that as well. Michigan, Illinois, like I said, has the much better record here, but I'm probably going to lean to the dog. Anything here for you guys? Byron says he likes the under in this one. Michigan State's gone over in 6 of their last 8 road games. Also, 4 of the last 6 games played between these two teams in Champaign have gone over. And Nathan says that coach is gonna have the Michigan State team pumped up and ready to go for this one. Illinois has been winning the series between these two teams. Last year, this time it was here at Illinois, and Illinois won 75-66 as a 6.5-point favorite. That was the only meeting last year. Kenny says the points are tempting. Nathan says Michigan State outright plus money. Justin says Michigan State is on his card. Okay, that's great because I just feel like it might be a little bit square with Illinois, and I wanted to kind of be. I was kind of glad to see the Sharps were on. To me, I just felt like that steam kind of indicated that they were going to be on Michigan State. So let me see if anything's changed in the market. I will say right now, though, that a game we just talked about, Maryland, Michigan, and the total had gone up to 140. It's going to get hit back down here, and it's not bad. All right, Illinois here for solo, however. No, I'm on Michigan State for sure. Not because of Solo. Solo, I had already said I'm taking Michigan State. I was just wasn't the best timing there, but I had already decided. But Solo on Illinois, just to be fair about it. All right. Got Gonzaga going on the road here against Santa Clara. These are, one of the games that we're going to be looking at here, certainly, for Gonzaga on their way to the title. But this is always one of the spots I had to kind of dodge occasionally in the past a little bit. I mean, they've rolled these guys every time, but I think I remember a few Bronco upsets somewhere in there, and I would think maybe that I don't know. This one probably could be within the spread, at least maybe within single digits. I've seen plenty. I've seen plenty of talking head videos, kind of out there today, kind of pumping up this one a little bit as far as the total's concerned. I mean, it's been a mash so far from 156.5. That total is way stale right now. I'm showing 158.5 at some spots at this point, and it does seem like it should be a massive over, quite frankly. These are the ones that get a little tough to a certain extent, but I'll probably just want to go over here in this matchup. Why not? I mean, these teams, I mean, they love to push the pace. I think we could all agree on that. And, if anything, Gonzaga doesn't exactly, defend terrifically on the outside at this point. And man, Santa Clara, they turn it over a lot, though, don't they? That should lead to some pretty easy buckets, but I don't know. I kind of would like Santa Clara. See if we got some numbers here a little bit. All right. Santa Clara has covered 11 of the last 15 meetings. Maybe that's more what I'm talking about, the spread and my memory, how it works. But they've won 11 of the last 15 meetings against the spread, including the last one here, which was last January 7th, as a matter of fact. So let's look at that one year ago. It was 81-76. Gonzaga wins. They did not cover in that one. And it went right online with this total. And ironically, the second meeting last season at Gonzaga had a very similar total, and it landed right there as well. In fact, so it landed 157 in the meeting here at Santa Clara. It landed 158 in the meeting at Gonzaga last year. Both of those actually went under by about a point or two. So the number just got just a little bit too high. That's the tricky point, because I want to go over 13 of the last 19 games between these two have gone over, and it's going to approach there. It could end up short, but I don't think it's going to be 145. It's going to be 157, or it's going to be 162, 163. It feels like to me, and it just, for some of those factors that I think of when I was considering the matchup. Here's Kenny going the Zags. Some of those things that I talk about. Gonzaga doesn't really get at you defensively. They're going to let you shoot. At least Santa Clara's at home. They don't play. They're not an inside. They're not an inside group. We know that. Let me see if I can look at a few pieces to the puzzle here real quick. I know we got a bunch of hockey games to go over, but so you got to think. I mean, like Marshall, who's coming in off of, well, he made 4 of 9 last game against Pepperdine. Okay, all right, yeah, you're right, Timmy. Gonzaga may be the one that helps this one get all the way over. But I was just going to try to give Santa Clara a chance, but I know it's going to be very. I'll go over here, free pick on the show. Mind you, I'm saying same thing as last time. Maybe the total just got a little bit too high, but the sharps are on this one on the over. They've been hitting these type of overs too. Um, I know we've ended up short on some of these college totals that we've been going over, saying, "Hey, we've missed the best price," but just don't see any reason why this one won't be super close to 160. This is a free play after all on this nice game. I'm trying to give you a good play. All right. Clemson and Virginia Tech in this one. No, that's not right. That's not right. Where's it at? That was yesterday. Okay, here we go. I got a couple of Pac-12 games. They're late. They're 11 Eastern and 8 Pacific. So you guys will be in bed on the East Coast. But I want to cover 2 games from the Pac-12 when I'm really into the action late night. Pac-12, Pac-12 after dark. Hey, it's not over. It's not over just yet in the Pac-12. Okay, Oregon State's won 6 of their last 7 home games. They've gone over also in 5 of their last 6 home games. Stanford has covered 6 of the last 7 trips here into Corvallis over the years, and we'll see when Stanford, they're going to be heading to the ACC, and Oregon State's going to be merging in a way with the Mountain West. Oregon State going to be kind of the talk in this one with the talking heads, but I think the Sharps are probably going to be on Stanford. It looks like they've already laid the points a little bit with Stanford early here. Neither of these teams have been too impressive against the spread. We talk about Oregon State and their winning streak at home. I've actually got them 9-1 at home so far this season. Stanford just 1-2 straight up on the road. Oregon State and Stanford are both 10-4 to the over so far this season, with Oregon State 9-2 to the over at home. Although Stanford, despite that 10-4 record to the over, is 1-2 to the under on the road thus far, but they are 7-1 to the over as a favorite. All right. Looks like a little bit of attractive under steam coming in on that Illinois game right now. I said I'd go a bit further evaluate the total, but getting a market alert there under in that. Hey, thank you. Nice to see you, Thurman, today with your plays, including the Samford Bulldogs. We talked about it. And Byron also threw in another one in there with VMI. All right. Yeah, sorry about that. Didn't mean to get you off guard in that other game, Byron. That was my bad. I don't know how that graphic stayed in there. I'm going to delete it right now so we don't hit it again. There we go. Stanford here, 4.5-point favorite on the road. This one, like I said, 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific. The total down to 141.5 at this point. You know why. This one, I mean, I don't see this one getting to 140 points, quite frankly. Yeah, I know that both teams are going over, but we're in conference play now. Boy, like I said, the series has been going over too, but man, I just don't know if I'm going to see this game that way. So far, so you look, Stanford just played USC. Yeah, that was going to be a high-scoring game. They got blown out in that one, but against UCLA, it was 59-53, right? UCLA, we know they're not looking very good right now, and that game was at UCLA, and Stanford could only score 59 points. Now, I don't know how bad we think UCLA is. Look, Stanford got into a shootout with Arizona. They went over with ASU, but then against a team like San Diego State, they only scored 60. Now, San Diego State's good. I get that. But Oregon State, when they played Washington State, it was only 123 points. So I'm trying to look at the competition. Look, both teams are UCLA games. We know how UCLA plays it, and maybe that's part of their problem. But it was only 131 points in the game for Oregon State against UCLA. So I think I'm going to buck these trends. I think I'm going to fade these trends. I'm going to roll with the. I'm going to roll with, if you want the definition, right? I think some people maybe watch my show for this type of information, or when you try to dissect the, you know, the move, the steam, or right. You got two teams that are combined 20 overs and 8 unders. Yet this total has dropped here at least a point and a half, and it looks like it's going to keep dropping. So I'm going under in this one, trusting these sharp market players, and I'm looking at what I think is going to be a similar type of game to what we saw them play against uh, comp, um, comparable competition, the same competition, common opponents. Common opponents. Thanks, Stephen. I'll take a look at Baltimore County and Vermont in just a moment. I'd love to do that for you. Arizona State and Washington is the late game. It actually starts the same time as the Arizona State and Washington game, but Washington has won 4 of their last 5 games here at home. Washington also is 5-1 against the spread against ASU in their last 6 matchups. Washington a 7-point favorite here. 152.5. This one's on Fox Sports 1. Arizona State, as these two teams have gone over in 5 of the last 7 meetings between the teams, and also the total's gone over in 10 of the last 14 trips here into Washington. It's another one that kind of going away here, right? ASU comes in with a 4-game winning streak. They covered the spread in all those. They were all conference games so far. It's been a real positive start here for ASU in conference play. They're riding high right now with Hurley at the top of the standings with the Oregon Ducks at 4-0. All covers so far for Arizona State. Washington, meanwhile, they did beat Oregon State 79-72 last time out, but they didn't get the money. They failed in the matchup against the Ducks at home, laying 4.5 in that one. And now you have Oregon off to a 4-0 start, while the Huskies are sitting at just 1-3. So Huskies earning big time favoritism, maybe if they have been even a disappointment. Washington still 7-2 at home. We get that. But look, ASU on the road, while maybe it hasn't been a totally tough schedule in the non-conference games, they had some wins on the road so far. They played a lot of games on the road. They kind of, or at least, so far, there are 2 road games in conference. Certainly, they beat the NoCal teams. They beat the NorCal teams 76-73 at Stanford, 71-79 at Cal in, games that they probably were dogs. Let me see. It was they were getting 3.5 against Cal, and they were getting 5.5 against Stanford. In the games at home against Colorado and Utah, they were also an underdog. So not only have they won the 4 games, as I said, against the spread, but they were underdogs in all 4 games. Nobody saw it coming necessarily. They lost to San Diego, they lost to TCU, and they lost to Northwestern. They've also lost to some pretty good teams in BYU and Mississippi State. And TCU is no slouch. And Washington certainly just a kind of a disappointment here at this point with 3 conference losses. They did beat Gonzaga. They lost to Colorado State, pretty good team. They lost to San Diego State, as I said, pretty good team. Beat Xavier, a loss to Nevada. So tough schedule. All right, looks like nothing from you guys. Still got 60 of you riding with me here. Hello, good morning to Dre. I'm gonna take I'm gonna take the Sun Devils in this one plus these points. I mean, I like what I'm seeing. If I've got a team that won 4 straight games as an underdog against a you know team that's already lost several times in conference as a favorite, like Washington has, uh, or one time anyway. The game against Oregon, but they were favored in that Oregon game. They didn't cover against the Beavers. Okay, give me ASU. What was it, Stephen? Let me take a look here. Baltimore County and Vermont. I think we can track this one down pretty easy on today's card. You have Vermont, of course, they opened 16 and a half, now up to 17 and a half. Total 153, maybe 153 and a half. I think it's actually ticked down just a bit. But man, don't you think, Stephen, you probably know, you're asking about this game. You probably know about this game more than I do. But I'd be interested to get your take after I make my call here. Look, one of my plays is um, a premium play, but I like Vermont to roll Baltimore County today. How's that? Is that going to be enough on this one? I could maybe see if I have a few notes here for these two, but I think they will score some points, if you know what I mean. Talking about Vermont. So let me know if you ended up with anything in that one, sir, and or if you were able to stick around with me on that game. But I'll take from. Oh, let me get that banner off. We're gonna go into our hockey now, you guys. We got to get this done. But that one will be on ESPN2 today. Vermont comes in 11-5, Baltimore County 5-11. Vermont's been pretty woeful against the spread so far. 4-10 ATS. Usually Baltimore County uh, getting a few. They're getting points, but man, it just feels like with their losing streak in Vermont right now in conference after they just beat Maine. They didn't cover against Maine. They didn't cover at Brown in a non-conference matchup. They failed 3 straight actually against the spread, but man, I would think Vermont is going to be putting up a pretty big number on Baltimore County. If Baltimore County wants to look, we know how Baltimore County is going to have to play it. I mean, they're 11-4 to the over, 6-2 to the over on the road. Vermont much more deliberate. They're 1-5 to the under at home. But if it gets into a situation, I would think where they want to step up the tempo a little bit, I think that's going to backfire on them. I don't think these two teams have ever played to this number. So I think the total itself is kind of a giveaway to me with this matchup. At 154, this has never been 154 between these two teams, right? So all of a sudden, where all these games before ran under in the last 3 matchups, including last year's meeting here, Vermont was a 9.5 point favorite. They did not cover 74-68, and it was 144. So I look at this as the market telling me the way this game is going to go. The total has always been lined in last 5 meetings between these two: 144, 142, 142, 143, and 141. And you have contrast of styles. So look, I don't, other than trying to watch these teams a few times, looking at all these results here, there are people far more knowledgeable about this game than I am, and they're willing to set the line up 10 points higher than it's ever been in this matchup between these two teams. And they are one team a total over team in Baltimore County and one team a total under team in Vermont, and it's at Vermont. So I would think that the lines makers setting the total up high means it's going to be a high scoring game. And that is a market breakdown, because otherwise it's going to be 140. I could easily look at this and go, well, it's always 140. And in those games, it's never been last year, the game 142. The previous one, the last season at Baltimore County, 135. The previous season at Vermont, 125. The final in the game before that, 144. They never approach 150 even when playing each other. The last time they got to 155 was in January of 2022. Okay. Thanks, you guys. Let's get to hockey. I got the over in the Vermont game. Did I tell you? I gave out Vermont, but I'm giving out the over as well. I've convinced myself here. The market's all over it's probably higher than that now, right? 154. Look, the steam has been all on the over in that game. Okay, I can't talk about that game forever, but it is very intriguing for a handicapper like me. If it lands 77 to 70, come in here tomorrow and tell me to ignore the markets from. Okay, let's get to that hockey. The Sharks are taking on the Canadians today. Well, hey, at least it's my Canadians. They're taking on the Sharks, and they're favored $1.55. Hey, maybe we're getting a decent price to go against the Sharks for once, huh? We don't have to lay $4. We don't have to lay $3. We don't even have to lay $2 if we want to go against the Sharks, and we're getting them. Now we can kind of look at maybe my Montreal Canadiens, or can we? All right, this one, I tell you what, I mean, it feels like it's going to be 2-1. I was on with some guys last night on a show, and they started talking about this game, and I was like 2-1. I'll take this game 2-1. 2-1 Montreal, maybe 3-2. I have it as a low score, one score game. I think is the way I'd be looking tonight. Let me fire up the goalie computer here, make sure we have at least. I think Sam is the confirmed goaltender for Montreal. Oh. Timeout. Sorry about that, you guys. Got to reboot. Well, I think we could pretty much go with what I have up there with Blackwood and Montembeault in this one. We just saw Montreal, in a shootout last time out. These two teams, when they met, now we are dealing with an East-West series, but it's always been an under in the last 5 meetings between these two and the last 5 meetings in Montreal between these two. Montreal in that shootout yesterday. Philly got the win, finally, 3-2 in the shootout. We gave out Montreal here on the show, plus a goal and a half. So maybe there's a little bit to that coming in that Montreal is on the back-to-back, and they were on the road yesterday and ended up having to go overtime. But still, you do have San Jose, one of the worst teams in the league, on a massive losing streak right now. So why wouldn't Montreal be able to find a win here? They beat the Rangers at home just 2 games ago. They also won. Let's see. They won. Was it at Dallas? Well, they've won 2 out of their last 4. I should probably call up doing it off my recollection here with that one. But I mean, the Sharks are still on a massive losing streak, and they can't even cover puck lines either. I mean, you would think, they got the puck line against a good Winnipeg team the other night in that 2-1 game. We actually, kind of called it there in that one for the Sharks. They would have a good game in that one, but seems to me like this is under City here. Look, maybe the Habs are not great, but San Jose, 12 losses in a row, you guys. Here's Montreal on the under for Dre. Canadians money line for Ray. Canadians money line for Justin. So I guess I could flip a coin here on my play. It feels like I kind of already spilled the beans a little bit. But look, I think I'm already dealing with the worst line here. Let's see. Probably that seems like right up Fernando's alley to call a draw on that. Yeah. Hey, look, no one tries to find a spot for the Sharks on these type of shows more than I do. Total's down to 6. I'm going to make the total my total. I mean, I know it's. I knew we know it was going to go down to 6. Hello, Wine. Good morning. Nice to have you today. Uh, the fact that the total though has gone to 6/15 when yeah maybe we could have had 6.5 under 25 there on the screen way earlier, but I was up pretty early this morning, about 3 a.m. to get ready for the show a little bit, and reading about coaching changes and coaching chaos. I'll take the under here. Let's go to the next one: Canucks and Penguins. About ready to go on the goalies here. Yeah, there we go. Demko and Yari, neither of these guys are confirmed, so maybe we'll get the confirmations here rolling in the next few minutes. Maybe we'll start to get some, but you have the Penguins here, $1.25 or so total, 6.5 over at -120. And for Pittsburgh in this one, they've gone under in 4 of their last 5 home games, but Vancouver has gone over in 6 of their last 7 on the road. Penguins come in here with a record of 20 wins and 15 losses, 3 draws. Vancouver, or 3 points. Vancouver, 27 wins so far this season, 27-11 and 2, I believe. This one opened right about this range here, and we haven't really seen much movement necessarily from the Sharps here. Vancouver continues to play competitively, man. I mean, they're winning games. They're covering puck lines left and right. They're one of the hottest teams in the league, certainly. This is a super feature matchup here tonight with the Canucks and the Penguins, I would think. Maybe it's a good spot for Vancouver, but is that the type of price that we want to take? Maybe they could be or should be favored in this one. I mean, they are plus 3.5 units on the road so far this season. Pittsburgh has been terrible as a favorite. They're down nearly 7 units so far as a favorite, while Vancouver, as an underdog, they're up nearly 6 units so far. It's real big contrast here, mostly because of Vancouver's outstanding, record and play thus far. Pittsburgh's done a nice job, maybe, to be at this point, but it's not like they've been a profitable team in many situations. So I'll probably just have to take Bank here, I would think, to keep this roll going at this point. At even money or so, I'm going to take Vancouver. Let's see what you guys have. Look, maybe I was wanting to get a little more. Maybe I was thinking I could do a total and go with Vancouver as a premium because it feels like they are very, very hot. I think Dre's going over. Ray is on the Penguins, right? And yeah, there's another guy that kind of an old guy like me that gets up at 3 a.m. Let's see, Byron, Pittsburgh in strong form. I get that, certainly. And amazing that we are looking at those two teams out west right now as maybe Vegas, maybe LA are sliding by. Yeah, Jason, boy, good to see you today. Hey, maybe those guys can hang out together and do something. Yeah, gotcha, Salty. And Gamble's here today as well. All right. Okay, I'll take Vancouver. Obviously, they're hot. They're playing well. Let's try them. I know, Gamble. We're looking at goals here today, you think? Talking about those sevens out there right now. Remember the other day, who was here the other day when I gave out the salami over? And I don't know if I could do that today. I do think if I had to look at my pick sheet here moving forward, um, I've got maybe just a couple more overs and unders, I think, which isn't necessarily my cup of tea, as you guys know. Here's the Kraken taking on the Caps tonight. We've seen good Kraken on the road of late, haven't we? Seattle's won 5 straight games overall right now. The Capitals have lost 6 of their last 8 games right now. Seattle has gone under in 6 of their last 7 games. The Capitals have gone over in 6 of their last 7 games. What are you going to do when Seattle takes on the Capitals? Well, the total is only 5.5 here in this one at at minus 115. Hey, uh, I just said that that even though uh, one at least one team's going over big time so far, and that's Washington. But we know what's going on with the Capitals right now. They did beat LA last time out 4-3, but they gave up 6 goals and a loss to Carolina. They gave up 6 goals and a loss to New Jersey. They did beat Pittsburgh on the road recently. Seattle, though, on this winning streak, beat teams at home like Philly, like Vegas, like Ottawa, then started this road trip here at Buffalo with a 5-2 victory a couple of nights ago and come in here to take on the Caps. These two teams haven't met in 14 months. So, first meeting of the season between the two. They've split the 4 meetings all time with the home team winning each time in this one. But Capitals obviously in a bit of a funk, but still, good record for the Capitals. You want them to turn it around. You hope they can turn it around here fairly soon. Man, I was interested in this total under. I don't know if I could give it a premium right now, so maybe we just talk about it here on the show, and I'll go under 5.5. I want to take the under. Um, I know I'm talking about the Capitals giving up goals, but could we really see Seattle 8-0-2 in their last 10 games? But could we see Seattle, put up enough goals here? Usually they've gone under in 2 of their last 10 games overall. The Capitals are 7-13 to the under at home. Obviously, that's what maybe the public feels. Maybe the Sharps are kind of feeling that way too in this game. So, could you guys go under it all in this one? Even with this total, I might. Hey, I understand, Jason, but you know what? Coach didn't want to go out. It's going to be tough, right? Good luck to the next coach. I kind of said it kind of sarcastically in the beginning, and I know it's really hard for a lot of Tuscaloosa folk today, but I don't think Coach, I think he was looking at his buddy and said, I don't want to go out like that if this is starting to slow down. Look, Coach was super happy with what happened this season, right after a slow start. So, all right, Dre says it is an under game in Seattle to win. Sorry about that, poking that, but Jason's in here feeling kind of bummed today. I mean, we all are. We don't want to see some of these great coaches runs come. But it's funny. It's ironic that they're all happening at the same time. There's always coaching changes. Here's Kraken money line for Ray. Byron likes Washington in this one, despite a derogatory slant on their name. He's taking them. How is that for politically correct? Okay, I'll go under. I'm going to go under. I'll even go at 5.5 there. It might even be, I have 5.5 over 25 on the screen. I think it's actually, oh man, it's 5.5 over 15 in a lot of places. And I would think we got another 2-1, 3-2 game here. And all right. Here's the Devils today on the road at the Lightning with Vanasek and Vasilevsky scheduled to be in goal in this one, and the Lightning are favored minus $1.40, and the total 6.5 over 25. For the Lightning here in this matchup with the Devils, Tampa Bay has won 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams. Total has gone over in 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams at Tampa Bay. New Jersey's gone over in 4 of their last 5 games on the road and 5 of their last 6 games overall. Tampa Bay comes in 20 wins so far. Devils 21 wins, so pretty even matchup there as far as that's concerned. But the last time these two teams met was last year, so first meeting of the season between these two. The Devils have gone over in 12 of 16 games on the road so far this season. And Tampa Bay 12-5 at home so far. Devils, one of the best road teams certainly in the league right now with a 12-6 record. Also, 5-4-1 in their last 10 games. Tampa Bay 6-4 in their last 10. This one, for me, that's my price might just be a little bit too tempting for me on Tampa Bay as a home favorite. I think if I can get them here at $1.45 or so, it's $1.48 now. Yeah, probably just go with it as the free play. $1.48 at Bet Online, $1.47 at Bovada. Keeps going up here. So I'm going to grab Tampa Bay in this one to win at home against the Devils. That total's pretty high. I would imagine this one, you talk about what you guys are saying there in the chat about some goals, right? So I've already said, I said one game I thought would be 2-1, and I said that last game might be low scoring. So I don't have it necessarily as a grand salami type of day, but Fernando says, give me the Lightning on the puck line. Here's Salty, Tampa to score first. Chino says, give me the over. Salty's on Tampa. Looks like Byron's on the over as well. This one, it feels like, hey, subscribe to my packages today. You'll find out Trey likes the Lightning. And I'll go ahead and take the Lightning as the play. But I think we might be headed with another direction. Here's the Oilers taking on the Red Wings. And here you go. Here's your 7. Oilers on the road with a big 7 there with Skinner and Lyon in net today. I believe that is the case. Want to mention some other games maybe we just mentioned already here, but there were a couple where the goalies were already confirmed, and maybe I didn't know. Kemper is confirmed in that game against Seattle. Decord was not. Blackwood in the game against the Canadians is. And this one, I'm starting to see Picard in there possibly for the Oilers today, and I feel maybe compelled. Yeah, I'm gonna roll with Skinner. Let me see if I got any of my Oiler fans in here, my Red Wing fans, or my Oiler fans primarily right now to give me the scoop here on this one. I don't know if I'm reading it quite clearly today as to which direction we might be headed in this matchup. But no doubt the Oilers are going to be a favorite here on the road. $1.70, we're going to call it right now. maybe even $1.75. That total is starting to get juiced up a little bit to the under. I'm not. What do you guys have in this one? See, I don't know if I'm excited about this all of a sudden. Edmonton's won the last 5 meetings between these two teams. They've also won the last 5 meetings here in Detroit in the series. Detroit's gone over in 5 of their last 6 games, including 4 of their last 5 home games. These two teams have not met so far this season. Detroit's on a 3-game winning streak on the road. They won their West Coast swing at Anaheim, at the Kings, at the Sharks. It was a good trip for the Red Wings. Edmonton obviously continues on a roll right now, super hot coming in. They've won 8 of their last 10. They're on a winning streak currently. Detroit, pretty tough at home, 10-7 straight up, although they are 11-13 as an underdog straight up this season. Detroit has gone 24-14 to the over, but just 11-8 to the over at home, although for 15-9 to the over as an underdog. Edmonton does play slightly to the over. All right, you guys. This one's going to be a rough one here. I've even seen, some. It's got to go over, right? Doesn't it? In this game, I mean, how is it going to stay under? Actually, Chino's on the money line here with the Oilers. Fernando says, "Give me the Oilers and the over." That's what I'm feeling. But man, this price is getting so high. It's too high. The rent is too high. Probably going to find a way to get the Red Wings on some. I don't know. Give me the over. Trey says it's over. I'm saying over. I'll take over 7. I'll even take over 7.5 here at plus 135. Maybe I won't. Let's go over 7. Hello to Crumb. Senators and Sabres. Tonight, you have the Sabres here, minus $1.30, with Luukkonen likely to be in net against Anton Forsberg here in this one. But Luukkonen was announced here as the likely goaltender here this morning. He was in the starter's crease, according to the beat writer, for the morning skate. Buffalo has won 5 of the last 7 meetings between these two teams here in Buffalo. Total has gone under in 7 of the last 9 meetings between these two teams. Ottawa plays pretty tough against Buffalo of late, that's for sure. This is another one with a 7 on it. 7 under 25 you see there, and I think that 130 looks like a pretty fair price at this point. Ottawa's on a 4-game losing streak here, all on the road. This one's on the road. They've been on the road, and they're losing games on the road. They lost at Vancouver. They lost at Seattle. They lost at Edmonton. They lost at Calgary, and now they got another one here at Buffalo. They are 4-12 on the road straight up this season. Now, Buffalo hasn't been great, but at least they have won 2 of their last 3 games, and they won those on the road at Montreal 6-1, and they beat Pittsburgh 3-1 before losing to a pretty hot Seattle team 5-2. Buffalo is 8-10 at home. They're also 8-2 as a favorite this season. Are the Buffalo Sabres. This one looks like it's just going to be too attractive of a price to pass up. A team that has some decent results of late against a struggling team on a long road trip. I mean, even I might be square enough to take this one. Just not sure that I can pass it up, especially if the center. I mean, how many goals could they really end up scoring here? I would think in this game right now. Granted, Ottawa's played in mostly overs this season, but not of late. They're 20-13-1 to the over this season, but just 3-5-1 to the under in their last 9. And we mentioned the under run in the series, certainly, and Buffalo's played under, as I said, in what did I say? 7 of their last 9, 9 of their last 10, whatever it was. And you have a big 7 up there. Something peculiar there. I don't want to be, big time. I'll just take Buffalo. The total we're going to have to work on a little bit. You're gonna have to get pretty. I'm gonna have to get up before 3 a.m. to finish off that one. I'll take Buffalo here at this price. Feels like a premium. Market isn't necessarily agreeing. I think the move's slightly on Ottawa. You guys got anything here? In this one, here Ray's on the Sabres. Dre's he likes the over. All right. Man, that's a lot of unders. Byron wants Ottawa. Gino says Ottawa. Finish strong. We lost 4 in a row. You got to better come up with a win somehow. Rodney's got a future with us. Got the Oilers here, I believe, to win the Stanley Cup. What's that, 37-1? Kenny Jackson says Senators, puck line. All right. Appreciate the contributions here in that game. All right. Next up. Is that right, Rodney? 37. I don't think the Oilers are 37-1 anymore. Hello to Lex. I mean, they've got to be down to I don't know. 37-1. You've got me stunned there. It's got to be 20-1 or less. 15-1 maybe. Here we go. Ducks and Hurricanes and this. Okay, now we've got to go back to the prices here a little bit. That's okay. We'll figure something out for this one with the Ducks taking on the Canes tonight in Carolina. And Carolina's won 5 of their last 6 games coming into this one. Anaheim's done very, very well against the Carolina Hurricanes. They've won 7 of the last 8 trips here into Carolina for whatever reason. It's not like the Ducks were good. This has been the same Ducks over and over, right? Basically playing, below 40% for the most part. Carolina's been a good program here for the last several years. They're having a good season right now, but for whatever reason, this has been a good trip here for the Ducks. They've won the last 3 meetings, including the first meeting this season, 6-3 at home against Carolina. Carolina's 10-3 at home so far this season. Ducks do seem to play their best hockey away from home. They are 8-9 straight up on the road. So, maybe this is one of their favorite trips. Maybe there's a magic potion in Carolina. Whatever the case may be, this is a bit of a anomaly, right? Or what's the better word? Total's gone over in 6 of Carolina's last 8 games at home. And also, Carolina coming in with a little bit of a winning streak here before they slipped up against St. Louis 2-1 back 5 days ago. So they are well rested here, but they were on a winning streak before that. Anaheim comes in off of a win on the road here over Nashville 5-3. So maybe it is a case of just wanting to get away because they were on a losing streak before that at home. Boy, this one's starting to shape up like we can't get ourselves off Anaheim in the trend department. Oh, thanks, Rick. Appreciate that. Okay, I would sprinkle 37-1, then wouldn't we? Yeah, we'd be all over that. All right, Dre's on the Canes puck line. Timmy says it'll be the Panthers and the Jets. Wouldn't that be amazing? All right, I think we're on Anaheim here somehow, right? I would think they're even, whatever reason, they're probably going to score some goals. I see it 6.5. Is it really 6.5? I know they were steaming it over at 6, and yeah, it's 6.5 under here for sure, and kind of like that over at this point. Ducks puck line. Yeah, Ducks puck line is the call for sure. Maybe even the money line, right, guys? And well, I guess it's not going to go back down to 6, but I'm going to wait it out and see. Ray's willing to go over 6.5 as well. I might be willing to do it as well. I mean, look, they're going to give up some goals, but for whatever reason, you factor in that is a long history where, right, you could say that some trends are noise. Seems like the Ducks just have a good trip when they go to Carolina, and they've already won one road game. All right, here's the Kings taking on the Panthers in this one. You got the Kings slumping. What is wrong with the Kings? They don't look like the Kings that I was watching all of a sudden. And maybe Talbot. Yeah, we hear about it. I think Tony was talking about it. Maybe some overuse here, or maybe there's another capper on the drive-through. But I'm all about it. I mean, the Talbot, uh, constantly having to go to Talbot, going up against Bob here. Um, I want to look. This is the shot for the Kings. Um, I know everyone's going to be on Florida. This is a spot where I want to take my Kings. Quite frankly, I think they might end up. Look, the sharps are all over the under. It's unquestionably, this one's feeling some pressure to the low. Right now, it's already 6. It's 6 juiced over. Okay. I thought they were pressing it under, but I don't know. I thought I think the Kings can score goals here today in this one. Just feels like this is the right spot for the Kings. I know everybody's all hot and bothered on the Panthers right now, but this Kings still team. I guess maybe with Talbot, maybe a rest factor can be a factor with him. Gosh, this one, I want to take the Kings so bad. Do you guys have any plays on this? Oh, Dre is on the Kings puck line. Okay. Ray is on the Panthers. Look, the Panthers are hot. They're playing so well, right? They're 8-2 in their last 10. The Kings are 3-4-3, I think, in their last 10 games. Currently, not looking as good right now. Florida's won 5 straight, covered the puck line in each and every one. The Kings have lost a bunch of games in a row, but they have beaten Florida in 5 straight meetings, including the only meeting this year, 2-1 back in Los Angeles. They pretty much have owned them, but the Kings have been in a funk, and it looks bad. It might be a little corny to take this. I better just. I'm gonna take the Kings. I feel like this is the right spot to break this losing streak against a team that's getting a lot of hype right now in the Florida Panthers here. I feel very contrarian here in this one. I want the Kings, and I think Gino's going under, and I'm going over here in this game. I'm pretty sure. I'm going to give the Kings out as my play. Come on, Kings. Maybe even a homer play here. I might have a new segment called the Homer Play. I've got so many favorite teams. Homer Play of the Day. And we'll have a, Homer Simpson or something. All right, we got to keep it going. This show's getting long. Maple Leafs, Islanders here. Maple Leafs on the road. Minus $1.30. Jones and Sorokin. Both these goalies are confirmed in here already today. Jones was already going to be in, but Sorokin will be in goal here for the Islanders. He's 12-8-8. Well, the Islanders are king of the ties, remember. 3.2 goals against and a 91% save percentage. Going up against Jones, he's 8-3 with a 1.97 goals against and a 93.5% save percentage. Although the Leafs have recalled Samsonov here to the team, but it will be Jones here in this one. He's won 4 straight right now for the Maple Leafs. Sorry about my profile there, but I was just checking the goalie report, and this one has both goalies in here with Toronto and the Islanders tonight. How about that? All right. For Toronto, they've won 4 of their last 5 games currently in this one. I think you're going to see a lot of talk about the Islanders here at plus money from the talking heads here today, but I'm not so sure. I probably want to play Toronto here in what could be, in my opinion, a high-scoring game between these two teams. These two teams met back on December 11th. The Islanders won at home here, 4-3 in that one. You have an Islanders team that is 25-14 to the over this season. They're also 16-5 to the over as an underdog. Toronto, they've been playing quite a number of unders lately. They're 2-7-1 to the under of late. A lot of that has to do with the defense and the play of Jones right now. Toronto's won 4 straight games, including back-to-back wins over San Jose. They also beat Anaheim, and they beat the Kings as the teams continue to beat up those West Coast teams, didn't they? For the Islanders, they have lost 2 straight right now, including a home game here to Vancouver, 5-2 last time out. They also lost 5-2 at Vegas. All right. How about that? Yes. The overtime, to what to do. We know what to do, Salty, right? Regulation draw, the hottest bet in all of hockey. But that's not my play. That's not what I take here on the show. If I were to take a regulation draw, of course, that would put me slightly on the dog, I would think. But wouldn't want to take them necessarily on the puck line at this price. I mean, this is a pretty high price, $2 puck line here, $2.25 as a matter of fact. Curtis is here today, and he takes Toronto. Trey is on Toronto. Salty said he took Toronto first thing. I like Toronto. You guys like Toronto. I'm on Toronto here over the aisles today. Look, let's let the talking head. I don't know. I could be wrong. We'll see. It feels like what I've seen so far from the, gambling reporters. I'll just call it like it. I'll just call it like it is. Public handicappers, maybe a little bit. It does seem like most of the talk has been about the Islanders here so far, and I think there's a little bit of value. We got a consensus play. There's no morning steam consensus. We don't have enough people. We've got me, apparently. All right, let's move on here. Just a couple more. Thank you for hanging out with me this morning. Appreciate it. We got 50 of you hanging on here on my every word. Blackhawks and Winnipeg here. We're still kind of covering the Bedard situation a little bit. I think we're past it now, but now 6 to 8 weeks. I think we're starting to get a feel how long it's going to be without Connor. Probably could affect, I don't know, a rookie of the year in this one. So, anyways, Blackhawks here at the Red Hot Jets. So we're dealing here with another massive number. Jets, not going to say out of nowhere, because I think there was quite a lot of talk here for the Jets and what was going to happen. But it certainly is nice to know. I mean, 9-0-1 right now in their last 10 games here, right? And Chicago 2-7-1 in their last 10 games. So teams going pretty much in opposite directions here. We know that Winnipeg has won 5 straight games at home as well. They're 14-5 at home this season, but we don't need to worry too much about that. It's what's going to happen against the puck line. Winnipeg is 19-8 8 as a puck line favorite here. This is going to be still a pretty high price, $1.50 or so. But that's a pretty good record as a puck line favorite, 19-8 as a puck line favorite. The Blackhawks are 19-21 as a puck line dog, but 7-15 on the road on the puck line. So probably another spot just to be square here and roll it with the Jets. Total's gone under in 5 of the last 6 games when playing in 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two, as well as 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams in Winnipeg. Chicago did win back on December 27th, 2-1 at home. Before that, Winnipeg won 3-1 here at home on December the 2nd. Both teams pretty much solid unders so far. In fact, Chicago 9-13 to the under on the road. Winnipeg 8-12 to the under at home. The widely reported steam did come in on the under in this game, and we're dealing with some 5.5s out there, I believe, by now, and pretty much across the board 5.5. You can't even leave that. You can't even finish this preview without at least putting 5.5 up there. It would be a complete disservice. I think we're okay with 440. It runs the gamut. So take your pick. I mean, do your shopping. This one, if any, if you're parlaying it up or whatever, because I'm showing 418 right now at Bet Online, but 510 at Bovada. Still, the margins aren't big enough for an arbitrage there or anything, but still, you could save a whole $100 or so if you're going like 400 to win one, or if you do things like that. I don't know. Probably just lay the puck line, I guess. What are you guys doing in this, if anything? The dirty peg and over for Curtis. Salty, maybe this one, was he talking possible draw, or was it last one? Of course, we're going to be on the draw in that one. All right. Feels kind of like maybe it could be a 2-1 again, but I don't want to do that. I really want to just take the Jets here again. They're on such a roll. I think the crowd's all, they don't care who they're playing at this point. For the Jets to be, take us back, WHA. Rangers and Blues. Rangers on the road. The Blues have been pesky, no doubt about it. But the Rangers still going to be favored in this one on the road at $1.65 or so here today. The Rangers have been covering some puck lines certainly on the road, but they weren't favorites in all of those. However, they lost their last road game at Montreal. They drubbed Tampa Bay before that. Rangers have gone over in 8 of their last 10 games. St. Louis has gone under in 5 of their last 6 games. Like I said, St. Louis playing pretty well, no doubt, of late. They are also 15-12 against the puck line at home, and Rangers are 11-19 as a puck line favorite on the road. Granted, it is $1.75 to grab some of that Blues puck line. They are 6-1 against the spread in their last 7 on that puck line, and so maybe a little bit tough here on some of these outstanding trends. So let me take a deep. This one, we're dealing with such an early card. I mean, we're almost done with this card, and this is still just an 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific game here in this one. That total 6.5 under 20. I mean, that's probably the way that I'm going to end up just going here. It's already, let's wipe it off the board. Let's call it 6 over. We've missed the best price, so let's not go too strong as to make it a premium play. I do like the under in this one with the Rangers and the Blues. Blues seem to be playing some of these, tighter, lower scoring, doing a nice job on some of these games at home. Yeah, they did give up 5 to the hot Panthers, certainly. But remember, they beat Vancouver at home 2-1. They lost to the Avalanche at home just 2-1. So I'm going to take the under here. The widely reported steam came on the under. And I would say the Sharps seem to like St. Louis in this one, but man, if this, what is it right now? 160, 155. Maybe it could go down just a little bit more and get me interested. I'll take the under. Yeah, Rangers. Yeah, do you think so? Do you think the Rangers are moving? They've lost 2 in a row now, and lost to Vancouver. No problem with that, but losing at Montreal, that had to be. Here's Ray agreeing with me. All right, here come the Flames and the Coyotes in this one. And, well, the Coyotes, man, this isn't a fluke. I mean, they're always live to win these home games, it feels like, doesn't it? And especially here against the Flames on the road. We know how this one could end up going, right? Especially when you look at the series history and what's going on with the Flames on the road, too. Winnipeg has won 5 straight games at home. They've covered the puck line in each and every one of those games. But listen, let me see here. Maybe you get on the right game a little bit. What am I talking about? The Winnipeg. Okay, here we go. I'm sorry about that. Let's start over with the Flames and the Coyotes. Everything stands true about what I was saying about the Coyotes at home and what Winnipeg's doing. Calgary's doing a little bit on the road. Calgary, though, has won 7 of the last 8 meetings against Arizona right now. Now, Arizona's won 9 of their last 13 at home. They're 13-8 at home overall, but they are 9-16 as an underdog. And Calgary is 8-11 on the road. So, look, they've already they have not played yet so far this season, but Calgary, like I said, having owned the series, Arizona did win the last meeting between the two. It was last season, mind you, but Arizona was able to get a 4-3 win finally to stop that 7-game Calgary winning streak. 4 out of the last 5 meetings between the two teams in Arizona have gone over. The teams have combined to go 45 and 35 to the over so far this season. So maybe a little bit of conflict. I was only caught up by that Winnipeg game there a couple back. I had mentioned the widely reported steam came in on the under, and I see some more steam under, even at 6, man. That Winnipeg game is really looking like a low. Anyways, let me finish on and continue up here in this one. I like this game very strong, and I'm not sure on the side yet, so I'm going to give out probably my premium here that I was going to give on the over. What I said about Calgary on the road, they're 2-8 to the under in their last 10 games right now, including a 3-2 loss at Philly. The Flames are on that old Tony T extended road trip thing where they play a bunch of games on the road, they come home and play Ottawa for 1 game, and then they're back go shoot down here to Arizona. So not necessarily a great spot, and I've got this as an under spot. Whether or not I get on hot Arizona, we'll see, but I'm going to take the under as my play here. Probably going to be a premium, and I usually don't give out a side and a total on a premium because usually we use one on the show, quite frankly. So Timmy says, which veg milk are we going to get? Well, I like my veg milka with do you pour your veg milka on the cereal, or do you dump your cereal in the veg milka? All right. Yeah, I don't know. Salty, so I like head-to-head totals mostly between teams that play more frequently. But like I said, some of them, this one not one of them necessarily, but like a team like Anaheim that goes to a trip every year, I like those a little bit. Sometimes it can be noise. Coyotes puck line for Gino. Rays on the under here as well. Thanks a lot for that. One more game, and it's a good one. It's a big one tonight. The Boston Bruins on the road at the Golden Knights here. Vegas has won 17 of their last 23 games at home. Vegas has also gone under in 4 of their last 5 games, but Boston has gone over in 6 of their last 7. Boston also here on the road as a favorite. Yeah, I get it. Vegas is in a bit of a slump. Maybe are they? Is this what we're going to get from Vegas right now? That's what you're kind of wondering, right? I mean, has it left them that quickly? Sounds like the talking heads are going to be on Boston today here in this one. Boston on the road here. They've already lost 2 games back to back. Now they're playing a slumping Vegas team that's lost 3 of their last 4 games. They did beat the Islanders, but they went on the road, got shut out by Colorado in just a 1-game little road trip. Now they're back here at home to take on Boston as a dog. Boston 12-5 on the road this season. And these 2 teams haven't met so far this season. Let's see here. Boston's gone over in 7 of their last 10, and Vegas has gone under in 7 of their last 10. This one, a little bit tough, but I think I know where I'm headed here with this one. I might just want to take the dog. Might just want to take this underdog here with Vegas tonight, and I'm going to take them plus $1.10 to find a way here. I'm saving the total. I think I'm going premium on the total there. And let's see if you guys have anything on this one. Maybe this is a chance for Boston to get healthy, but Vegas needs it too. And Salty's wondering about the goalie situation tonight. I have Thompson listed there, but it could be Hill. I think we do know it's going to be Swayman, but yeah. And, you're right, because we saw that could be a factor. Yes, actually. Kenny Jackson says he does want the under here in this one. So, no, yeah, we shall see, because they had a late goalie change last night, and they have brought up the third goalie, but they ended up making a late change last night. Now, I'm still going to play the Knights here at this price, but I will say right there that Salty is right on. I can't. Salty, we'd be waiting here maybe for hours and hours and hours. I do like the spot for the Knights. I'm going to take them here, but I do tell you this, and I want to give it away, but I did hint about the total here, I think, a little bit tonight. Maybe inconsistent goaltending situation. Maybe we'll see some goals here tonight, some volatility. All right, that's going to do it. You guys, thank you so much. We got to get out of here. Thank you for spending 2 hours with me here talking about sports betting. We'll catch you tomorrow with more Morning Steam. Want to say thank you to all the commenters as well in the chat. Appreciate all of you, including Timmy Tushu and Salty as well. Kenny, Gino, Jeff Schramm was here. Ray Curtis was here today as well. We had Dre, we had Lex today, we had Rodney come in today, we had Byron stopping by, we had Kenny, we had Crum, we had Gino, we had Fernando, we had Justin, we had Gerardo, we had Perky, we had Jason, the Roll Tide guy, trying to come to grips. We had the Fix was in. We had Chad, of course. We had that might be all I can remember here. Russell as well stopped by. Ninja was here. Peasy was here as well early on. Want to thank those guys as always for stopping in. All right, that's going to do it. More Morning Steam tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern and 6 Pacific. Thanks a lot, everybody. Catch you tomorrow. More Morning Steam for Tony'sPicks.com. I'm Ramon Scott.
Can it Tony T, yes, Ramon SEO. To the double T, be fuddling these bookies like 1, 2, 3. They tapping out and we cashing out. It's plain to see. The morning scheme is the 18, Mr. T. And I pity the fools who can't hang. Come up with real game, it's sort of a freight train. It's been reported bank rolls are easy to maintain. So get situated and listen to the picks. And it goes a little something like